So are the people who are getting on these pages and bullying and stuff, are they doing it in terms of pushing what they think is like the correct interpretation of the Viking Age or something?
Yeah, or some version of that. Again, I mentioned earlier about being the spoiler. That makes a lot of people mad. Um, I've literally seen people go off the handle when we told them that the furry shoulders and eyeliner, what I call the Klingon look, is not Viking, and and then they just go off on me, and then it's like, hey, man, and then and also, I've kind of learned a few years back about the whole online consent type philosophy that I've been using, which is if I post a picture of myself in my Viking kit, and this is kind of a culture of all the different reenactor Facebook fan groups and pages out there and stuff. And if I post a picture of myself in my Viking kit and on it I say critique me, then yes, the door is open for you to pick me apart. If I'm just saying, hello, my name is Gabe, I like Vikings, that's not an invite for you to take apart my shoes. And I see that a lot, like people just introducing themselves. Hi, thank you for inviting me to your page. And then people get mad when they post up a picture of themselves in Viking kit, but they're wearing their glasses. And some people will freak out about the wearing of glasses while in Viking kit. And I just in Timberhaven, I have a whole rule on that too that I've instituted. Like safety and comfort is number one. But if we're posing for pictures or if we're doing like what we call a Viking fashion show, you need to take your glasses off. But if you're just sitting in camp and you're sewing something, go ahead and put your glasses back on. And that's kind of the rule. But there's a lot stricter groups out there who basically tell you if you have to wear glasses, you can't do this.
CJ, that reminds me of what you talk about with the characters that you write in your books, where, they're set in a period of time that's the Viking Age, and you're trying to be as authentic as possible, but you also have to make it relatable to modern people, right? I mean, you have to acknowledge we don't live in the 10th century.
Right. And that was Gabe, to something you said earlier that I picked up on and then I just haven't followed up with yet. But yes, that's the authenticity piece of it. It's when you're in character and you're inviting people into your camp, for example, and you're showing them all the stuff. Do you stay in character or do you break character to explain things? And to your point of if you go to say the SCA or another group where they stay in character and then they put on a funny accent. And it's like, well, you're doing a funny accent in a language that didn't exist at the time, right? So how authentic could that possibly be? Is that more authentic than just speaking the way that you speak today, right? And in the dialogue, I've been criticized for, in my novels, my dialogue sounds too contemporary. And I'm like, well, that's because I'm speaking to a modern audience who's not going to identify with an archaic form of English, which would be just as anachronistic because it didn't exist as a language at the time. And then I got into a fight online with somebody who, because I said French and English were not languages at the time. And somebody came after me saying, no, I think it was a French person. Oh, no, French was a language at the time. Because we have a document from the 9th century that looks like French, is very close to French. But I'm like, if you were to transport back in time and talk to the people who wrote that, you would have no idea what they were saying. So I maintain that.
Well, yeah, that's
yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, if you wanted me to be truly authentic, I should be dead right now. So, I mean, how far do you want to go? I mean, I'm a 52-year-old man, and so I think I mean, I know people weren't dying as young as we like to say, like, oh, old was 36, but 52 is getting kind of old. And there are still plenty of 52-year-olds running around, but not as many as we have today. And so and that's one thing I've always said is like, well, if you want us to be really authentic, then most of us in Timberhaven should be dead right now. And so, I mean, how far do you want to drill deep on that? And yeah, I mean, like I said, it all depends on context and consent and what exactly I'm doing at the moment. Again, if I'm taking a picture and I'm going to post up the picture and I want the picture to look authentic, then I'm going to do that as hard as I possibly can. If I'm doing a Viking fashion show and I'm showing people, then I'm going to put on authentic shoes. Why wear authentic shoes all the time anyways? That's another huge subject I can go on for an hour on, is levels of authenticity in your shoe. But yeah, but then again, I mean, I had to drive here to the event in a car. I'm talking to you over space laser stuff right now.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, how far do you want to go on this? And then I've been in those arguments too. Like one time I bought this ceramic pot, and it was in winter, and I live in the city of Portland, Oregon. You know, I live in an apartment with my wife and my adult child, and so I mean, I don't have a big chunk of land, and so I got this ceramic pot. I wanted to use it. I wanted to break it in. It was winter. I'm not going to go start a fire outside of my apartment right off of Sandy Boulevard and then burn like hardwood. So I put it on the stove, and I cooked up some chicken stew, and I took some pictures of it, and then I had some questions about the way I used it. And so I posted it up, and somebody called me out on using an electric stove. And I was like, man, screw you. I'm not even asking about the heat source. I'm asking about something else.
Maybe that should be your next picture, right? Your next picture of your Viking kit, right? Hey everybody, it's Gabriel. Here's my new Viking kit, and then there's just going to be a picture of a mound of dirt.
Yeah.
Right, because then you're dead and you're buried, right?
I was like, yeah, not only did I cook the chicken stew in a ceramic pot on an electric stove, but you looked at it on a computer over the internet. So.
Yeah.